Welcome to Monday's newscast. I'm Jennifer Vong. Coming up, dealer attitudes towards store values. But let's begin with your morning headlines. General Motors on Friday temporarily halted production of its Chevrolet Blazer midsize crossover in Mexico. That's because of a parts shortage due to the more than month-long strike by hourly GM employees in the U.S. On Wednesday, the UAW reached a tentative deal with GM on a new 4-year labor contract. However, the union will remain on strike until members complete a vote on the proposal by this coming Friday. GM sold more than 35,100 Blazers in the U.S. during the first 9 months of 2019, including roughly 20,300 units in September. Meanwhile, the Canadian Press reports GM has recalled all workers to its assembly plant in Oshawa, Ontario. The strike forced GM to temporarily close the factory because of a lack of parts coming from the U.S. However, GM says it now has enough parts and capabilities to restart Oshawa. The factory builds the Chevy Impala and performs final assembly on the previous generation GMC Sierra and Chevy Silverado, which are shipped from a plant in Indiana. Last week, we told you GM has agreed to invest $3 billion in its Detroit Hamtramck assembly plant to build electric pickups, vans, and battery modules as part of the proposed UAW contract. Now, sources are telling Reuters that electric utility vehicles could be added into the mix at the factory, and some of the vehicles could sport the Hummer badge. GM axed the Hummer brand in 2010. Auto Forecast Solutions VP Sam Fiorani says, quote, "Putting a Hummer badge on anything is a great idea for General Motors because half the marketing is already paid for. Making it environmentally friendly is just icing on the cake." Meanwhile, sources say the so-called BT1 EV program at Detroit Hamtramck includes an electric pickup for the GMC brand and an electric SUV for Cadillac. A GM spokeswoman says the company does not comment on speculation, but adds the automaker is committed to an electric future. Staying with EVs, Volvo CEO Håkan Samuelsson tells Automotive News that the automaker will build an electric version of the next XC90 at its plant near Charleston, South Carolina in 2022. The electric XC90 will be the first U.S.-made Volvo EV. It's not clear how much of XC90 production at the South Carolina plant will be devoted to the battery electric variant. Volvo unveiled its first EV, the XC40 Recharge, in Los Angeles last week. And President Donald Trump on Friday said he would nominate Deputy Energy Secretary Dan Brouillette, a former Ford lobbyist, to head the department. If confirmed by the Senate, Brouillette would replace Rick Perry, who will step down by the end of the year. Brouillette was vice president at Ford from 2004 to 2006. According to his official biography, Brouillette led the automaker's domestic policy teams and served on its North American Operating Committee. He's expected to keep pushing the president's policy of maximizing oil, gas, and coal output while slashing regulations on energy facilities. Despite predictions of a recession, U.S. dealers are feeling upbeat about the value of their stores. That, according to a new survey from Kerrigan Advisors. The sell-side advisor to auto retailers surveyed 650 franchise dealers. The firm found that 26% of dealers expect their store value to increase in the next year. 60% expect it to stay the same, and just 14% predict a decline. The top franchises retailers see increasing in value. Subaru led the way. It was followed by Toyota, Porsche, Volkswagen, and Mercedes-Benz. On the flip side, dealers are least optimistic about the value of their Infiniti and Nissan franchises, followed by Cadillac and Buick GMC and Acura. Meantime, more than 60% of respondents predict values of Honda, Lexus, Toyota, Mercedes-Benz, and BMW stores will remain the same in the next year. Kerrigan says franchises, which are expected to increase in value, have strong or rising buyer demand, while franchises that are expected to decline in value have low or declining buyer demand. For more on this story, see today's print and digital editions of Automotive News. Finally, it's that time of year again. Neiman Marcus is out with its Christmas book for 2019. The catalog features extravagant gift ideas. Among the so-called fantasy gifts,
oh, what fun it is to ride in the limited edition Aston Martin DBS Superleggera, especially when it's designed by none other than 007 himself, Daniel Craig.
The Aston is part of an experience package that costs a cool $700,000. And no, the price tag does not include shipping charges. Thanks for watching today's newscast. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning. Take care.